What is up, everybody? Does anybody have more fun than Booma and the Biscuits when it comes to promo videos? The Gong song.
I mean,
That was written and created by Biscuits himself.
well, was it though? No, I don't think. I don't like to take credit for anything from Biscuit Brisker Studios, to be honest. But it's a collective, collaborative sort of situation where I can't be held accountable for any of the lyrics or anything else.
There you go. There you go. Oh man. Well, what's up, everybody? Season of the Gong, episode 10 with the Biscuits and Booma on Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. Here we are. And let's give you one of these because you guys have been probably antsy about it. Some of that Gong love, that Gong sound bath pouring over you. Welcome, everybody. It's awesome to see everybody in the chat. What's up, Blunt Bitch? It's late there, right? But you're gonna have some fun. What's up, Charlie? And hey, you girl in the grad. Crystal's in the house. Colee, Valerie's here. Don Davis, what is happening? It's awesome seeing. I think people will start getting familiar with more of the names as more of you are coming on some of the community chats, the panels, and all that good stuff. The Lemuel, Miss Cajones. What is happening, everybody? You guys like that song? What's up? And then we got people live over on the Substack. What's up? Justine, Nabi, Manessa, and Mary. And then YouTube is freaking rocking. So we're ready to give you guys a good show here. We're going to be spinning the wheel. We're going to talk some GG at some point once that shit lands. And then I just wanted to see if I can find it. Neil Billy Hart's excited about that shit. Liz, okay, so here it is. Biscuits on record, live in front of everybody. But Liz wants to know: is it okay if she crochets the biscuits?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have any legal recourse if you do. So I will just, and I don't trust legal recourse either. So I will say, I guess I give my blessing. Though I expect, are these going to be for sale? Because
yes,
I am a little concerned about the type of person that would buy one of these in an image of me. I feel like it's going to end up with like needles stuck in it and be like nailed to a wall somewhere, and some Langley employees ritual dungeon or something.
I don't think she can help who buys them. So that's my concern as well. Is that somebody now has, from my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Liz, the Booma the first one sold yesterday, and then you've pre-sold a hippie song. And so I hope whoever's getting those isn't burning them, lighting them on fire, putting needles through them, whatever it is.
Well, I just read that she's promised to give me hair, so I approve. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. She's buttering it up. She's buttering that biscuit.
As long as the hair is good, I guess.
Yes, that is the way to Biscuit's heart. Tell me, give him some nice hair. Yep, give him some nice hair. And there you go. What's up? Oh, man. Yes, with a pat of butter for a hat. See? You can make some accessories. I'm telling you, there could be additional accessories that people are willing to buy. Nice. They did both go fast. That's awesome. But both buyers are the good peeps. Good to hear that. I know I can't ask who specifically bought them, but that's great to hear. That makes me happy that I'm not gonna during a show. All of a sudden, I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?" It's either the government or somebody bought one of the Booma dolls, and shit's going down. Okay, all right, we won't talk about it anymore. We'll let you keep your ideas to yourself. Oh man, I missed your live today. I got to go back and check that out. But oh, look who else is in the house! Surprise! Old Juxta's here. He's in the building. That always makes this interesting, to say the least. What is up, everybody? All right. So, like I said, there'll be a little bit about GG Co once we land that on the wheel. But to get started, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about real quick, Biscuits?
What? Oh, well, yeah, I saw your YouTube short where that UFC gentleman signed his death warrant on national TV. I thought that was the highlight of the.
So
Well,
many
I
people.
told you, I did catch a little bit of that UFC, and I'm not really big into it, and I do think it's probably was like it's. I mean, it seems scripted the way everything played out, but whatever.
Right.
But I enjoyed the blood on the White House lawn, and I enjoyed very much the guy shouting about Michelle Obama being a man, and Joe Rogan's reaction to it.
I know, man. He looked a little scared, actually. So, anyways, his name's Josh Hockett, and I'm not really a fan of this guy. He plays into his characters like way too hard, like it's WWE. But he is a really good fighter. And then to win on the White House lawn, and then to say this, I'll give him some props. But check this out if you haven't seen it already.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Hockett.
I mean, he's literally right in front of the White House. Donald Trump's there. All these goons, these politicians and shit have to deal with the fact that this guy said that shit right in front of the White House.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, he'll probably fuck up pretty much anybody that comes after him by themselves. You know what I mean? Like you got to catch him sleeping or something. So he's not going to be a pushover like Joan Rivers was.
Right. And he probably gets away with it a little bit more because he always says stupid and outlandish shit. So they'll just write him off as crazy. But he still said it, and it's still worth recognizing the fact that he had the guts to say it. So,
well, whatever you say about UFC and White House lawn circuses, etc. I mean, however you feel about all that, the fact is, you gotta respect that guy for being the right man for the right moment and taking that shot. Honestly,
right.
So
it was interesting. It was the funniest moment of the whole thing. It did seem like it was scripted. Every fight ended in a finish as opposed to going to judges' scorecards. I think we have to get deep into the details of, like Juxtaposition says, the doping and violence cell. But it was interesting because you literally had all of them there. You even had Jared Kushner and everybody in there, and all kinds of interesting stuff going on with that whole shtick. But then the American ends up the American that was a heavy underdog ends up winning. It can't be scripted any better.
Well, when you watch the video, you know, they had a big screen that played the fighters' sort of intro videos or whatever.
Right.
Lower quality than our intro videos in both cases, if I do say so myself, obviously. But the bad guy, the tortilla, he came in with this big red bull with horns blowing steam and a crown and roses, you know, like very sort of anti-American. It was basically like Moloch rolling in, King Moloch rolling in, right? And then the guy that won, what's his name?
Justin Gaethje.
Gaethje?
Yeah, his last name is spelled a little weird, but Gaethje.
Yeah, it's spelled like the alien from or like the Predator alien, Yautja or something. Anyway, he came out to like country music and Jesus, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you know,
and he beat the Spaniard because that's Topuria, Ilia Topuria, and who was also 17-0. Yeah, tortilla. It works.
You get everything you need to know from that word. You know what I mean?
For who the fighter is, but he was 17-0. Cutards. That was a highlight. He was 17-0, man.
Yeah,
there was other things that lined up. I saw a couple of videos that people were breaking down of the dates and various things, and obviously it was Donald Trump's birthday. And there's allegedly Secret Service coming out and saying they thwarted an attack that was meant, and supposedly lots of players involved that were going to try to attack the UFC.
Yeah, zero chance that really happened. Secret Service,
right? Exactly. So
as far as I can tell, Secret Service never thwarts anything, other than maybe whatever Dean's plans were, I guess.
Yes, they take out the Deans of the world.
Which, as far as I recall, was to go to work that evening. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, and of course it was 17. But now he's 17-1, and I'm not sure he can see out of his eyes yet. So he play if I mean I don't know. He got fucked up. Let's just say that.
Well,
And,
bro,
he
you
earned his
can't
paycheck.
he should learn his lesson about that Moloch shit. Get on Team America, and maybe next time, he won't get fucking pummeled.
Oh man, it's good. It is interesting. I find myself incapable of not watching that, but like I've always pointed out, Ari Emanuel is the big name behind the production now. That is the UFC and the WWE. He owns the TKO Productions, I think is what it's called, and he is the son of an Israeli terrorist. There you go. Isn't that lovely?
I will say after watching Team America win the UFC. I feel like the Constitution is saved and the treason has been remedied and everything's hunky-dory, and I just want to pay taxes.
Yeah. There was a guy that won the co-main event, and you can hear me, right? Someone just called it. Sometimes cuts out the audio. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, we'll move on from this in just a moment, but it was interesting. I could probably find the clip real quick, but it doesn't matter because most you don't know who these guys are. But Cyril Gahn is a French guy. He was fighting a Brazilian. I think he's Portuguese. Whatever he is. Anyways, he won, and then he snubbed Donald Trump. So Donald Trump came into the octagon and tried to like shake his hand and stuff like that. He just kind of glanced a little bit at him and then just walked away.
Oh my!
Dana White's probably gonna be fucking pissed about that. So that was interesting. But that was the UFC event.
Look what Colin says here.
What's Colin saying?
He says there was a plan to use 10 backpacks with 10K fatalities at 10 World Cup matches, which, as far as I understand the viewership of soccer in America, that would be everybody that's in attendance at 10 different matches, basically. I assume. I mean, are people really flocking to the World Cup? I realized that the Stanley Cup just happened, and I didn't even know that it had started.
I know. I haven't been paying attention. I did cover that it was, I mean, I just brought it up because somebody, I think in the chat mentioned it, that the World Cup's going to be here in the United States this year. And that's happening soon, I think. One in Los Angeles, one in San Diego. So, and they want to create more chaos. But when you come out after a UFC event, probably lying and saying that you thwarted this massive plan, and that's where I feel like they start hinting at the surveillance state. There's too much chaos, too much violence that's happening. There's too many threats to important people, and so we got to do even more measures to lock people down and stop it from happening. This fake boogeyman that always happens.
Further enshittification of your society.
Right. So there's that. And then real quick, I have a couple of funny stories. So I've been switching out a little bit of coffee with yerba mate. You ever heard of that? Yerba mate?
Yerba mate, yes. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's got caffeine in it too, but just swapping it out. It's supposed to be cleaner caffeine, but I don't know. Just trying it out. Anyway, I didn't want to drink.
Mean?
I don't know. It says clean. I think that's the name of the fucking brand. Anyways, it's all right. It tastes good. Anyways, I didn't want to drink the whole can, so I dumped some in a glass bottle. We use a lot of glass bottles around here, whether you're putting water or juice or whatever in it. And I put it in the fridge. And it's got like a pinkish color to it. And my mom, without knowing what it was, and she don't touch caffeine. She don't want nothing to do with caffeine.
Oh, wow, yeah.
She added it to one of her juice drinks.
Ride the snake.
I've been drinking this shit all day.
Yeah.
Not knowing. Thank God it didn't send her to the hospital or like in the emergency room. She's not allergic to it. She just avoids that shit. She don't need that stuff. My mom will wake up in the morning, get 2 hours of sleep, and she'll be the most chatty person that you freaking can imagine, while everybody else is like, oh God, I just want to eat my breakfast. She'll just be chatting. Love you, Mom. It's just funny that you were drinking some caffeine and you had no idea. So there was that. But then the other wing dinger that happened. So we make like a lot of the gravy that is for the indoor kittens, and some of the outdoor kittens get it too in the mornings or whatnot. But we like kind of hand make this stuff, grind it up, create it. And I guess one of the things that my parents just found out, I don't know, they watched a video, somebody told them, I guess potato water is good to add to gravy. So you get the potato water after boiling potatoes, and that has lots of nutrients in it.
Starch, yeah, sure.
Right. So my dad also, though, had an extra batch of hummingbird water,
Oh my God.
sugar water. So he didn't mark it. And my mom added that to the gravy. And now the cats were getting fucking hummingbird sugar water added into their gravy
Oh,
for the
man.
last however many days.
Are they charged up from it, or are they?
Yes, we've noticed lately that they've been fucking acting like insane. And now we know why. They've been drinking hummingbird
Charge them
water.
up. Charge them up, dude.
So now there's new rules in place in the house. So I hope you guys enjoy that fucking story.
If you
All
accidentally,
all right, I think. But
you accidentally give that yerba mate to those hummingbirds, now they'll tear through space time or something.
they'll be breaking through the window and the glass and fucking coming in trying to get some more of that shit.
Hummingbirds are crazy little things, man.
They're aggressive. I love hummingbirds. They're beautiful, and it's crazy to watch how fast they move and all that kind of stuff. But at our we went out to a place and we were looking at houses here. Like I was just going along with my parents, so when they were looking for houses, and there was a house out in the middle of this. You know, it was a nice house, but it was like way out there, which is cool. But they had like hundreds of fucking hummingbirds, dude. They were everywhere. So there was that. I had never seen something like that. It was like you could fucking sell tickets to this place. There's so many hummingbirds. This is crazy. Obviously, we didn't go with that. We have one hummingbird feeder that sits out there, and it's right outside the window above the sink in the kitchen. So while you're doing dishes, you can check out this hummingbird, and the cats will get up there and watch. Boo really is like fascinated by the hummingbird and wants that bird so bad. But there's one hummingbird every year that they're very territorial, and I had no idea about this about hummingbirds, but it will literally be the only one that drinks, and then you can watch it fly, and you can see where it lands in a tree, and it'll just sit there in that fucking limb and watch its feeder. And then when another one comes in,
yeah, they're crazy.
Fucking chasing each other. And then the one just keeps on trying, getting a couple sips, and then takes off. But that fucking hummingbird, man, that owns that thing, it'll just hang out in the trees and in the bushes and wait for another hummingbird to come along so that it can attack. And it's fucking hilarious. It's entertaining. I'll have to get that on video one of these points too. And then we have a skunk that's returned. We've had another opossum, a smaller one that's kind of cute, come into the fold. And we love the opossums. But then we have a raccoon that's been joined in the fold. And it's like, oh my gosh. So the funny farm is very active. And then I just went down to put out some feed for the deer. And we feed some deer and squirrels or whatnot down there. And we got some nice bucks and stuff like that running through the area. Or at least one nice young one. And then a bunch of other does. But anyways, I went down there, dude, and there was 2 wings and just the feet of a chicken that it was very fresh and it was eaten up. I don't know whose chicken that was or who brought that damn chicken around, thought it could free range. Not around here. They're foxes and something. I don't know what got it, but I walked over to that shit and I was like, man, that's fresh. I threw it into the fucking woods. Something got that.
Well, it had to have been either chupacabra, Bigfoot, or like a wolfman type situation, I assume, right? Those are the main predators in Missouri.
Makes the most
apart
sense.
from the state of Missouri.
Yo, it makes sense. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed some of those stories because I was laughing my ass off this morning. It was a funny thing to wake up to.
Those cats are going to crash hard whenever you guys.
One of them's been a little like he's out of it, man. Like maybe he hit that trigger a little bit too hard. The rest of them are fucking acting like bazonkers, and then they'll crash, and then they go bazonkers, and then they crash. So at least we are not giving them that anymore, but they might be a little angry coming off of it. Attacking. Don't walk out there in just socks, man. They might be attacking feet. Where the fuck's the sugar? Come on, that fucking sugar. All right, let's get to it. Oh, what is this? This is the season of the Gong. So let's get to the Gong event, Will, and see what happens. As you can see on the screen, we do got the GG code. Looking forward to sharing some stuff. We have some awesome fucking news for that shit. Finally, not that we haven't had good news, but some things finally came through. It's just business shit, and that's the way it is. But you can see some of the stuff there on the screen, and let's get rolling.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the skunk ape, of course.
Oh shit! No
Oh, wow.
way!
Wow.
Wow!
Finally,
All right, get you guys all fired up. Because every other
the
time,
probabilities have finally paid off. I mean, geez.
Dude, I'm telling you, the first time that he added that to the wheel, I told him it's not big enough. It's not going to land on it. It'll be the last thing that gets. And he's like, dude, whatever percentage you gave, like 83% probability that we're going to get it in the first couple spins or 3 spins, 4 spins, whatever it was. And it was the last fucking thing on the wheel. Now you made it more of a reasonable, almost equal to some of the fucking other shit on the wheel. And then there it is. Boom. First thing that fucking comes up. So let me pull this bad boy up. We got a little slide deck for you. We got some updates on the GG code thing. And again, anybody that donates during this show or wants to donate to GG Co, it's in the link tree that you'll find down below. My link tree, it'll be near the top. You can give that way, or you can give one of the other ways. And hashtag GG Co, GG, hashtag GG, let us know. But here we go. You guys can see on the screen, this was created by Biscuits. I'm going to let you kind of take it away, Biscuits, and talk us through some of this.
Well, I mean, Dory and I have been having to have a lot of meetings recently about all the different deliverables. And I know it's been kind of, well, for people that are interested in what's going on, you know, it's sort of opaque. But, and as he said, the reason is we've been having to do a lot of government stuff. I mean, trademarks, word marks, you know, tax, federal and state tax issues that all have to be worked out before you can even start to do business. So, but I think we've gotten all of that ironed out. So this is just sort of a roadmap to kind of give, yes, us too. This is just kind of a roadmap of what we're going to be doing in the next few months and over the next couple of years. And, you know, it's not so, when we get out to a year and a half out or whatever, we're not super sure on the dates, but you'll see as we go along.
Right. And so this is a little roadmap, give you guys an idea of where we're headed and what we got going on. Hopefully keep you excited. I know some of this stuff takes a lot longer than I would have ever expected, but this is like literally the first time I've ever been on a venture like this. And it's been exciting the last few days when things finally are coming together to fruition in the sense that we will be able to finally start launching some stuff. So anyways, we appreciate everybody that's been giving to this. Know that your money is being well spent and it's all going into this. None of it's coming just like directly to me or to Biscuits or anything like that. It's all going into the business and this operation that's been going on since we did the Oracular series, and the community got involved with the names, events, and all the other organizations and stuff like that we talked about. So this is GG Co, the greatest game company. And then you can see that on the screen, incoming transmission. This is the roadmap. So estimated out 2026 to about 2028. Let's get to the next slide. Here we go. Oh, and then everybody that's right before you say anything, Biscuits, people that are asking about Dean, I literally just got another letter from him today. It's the third letter that he sent. His spirits remain high and he's staying positive. I could say that. There's still a lot of mystery that they're allowing to probably try to drive him mad about what is going to happen, and he has no idea how long he's going to be in there or what's going to happen exactly, but spirits are high, and he wishes everybody in the community love, and we'll keep you posted if anything changes. So here we go.
Right. So we basically have broken things up into sort of 5 critical tranches of products that we're going to drop over the next 2 years, starting here literally in the next like week or whatever. You can skip ahead. So the first, this is just kind of each of these 5 tranches spaced out over the next 24 months. The dates, as I say, they're pretty much locked, give or take, based on the amount of work we can get done and how some things go. We're going to try to kind of keep things code named until they release for trademark and other purposes, because we do have to file. It's crazy, it's interesting when we've been going through this, Dorian, because like there are a couple pieces of it that I've never actually dealt with myself before. But business, like building a business is really a pain in the ass. I mean, it's less of a pain in the ass now than it has been. And I think that we'll probably end up doing some series on that itself. I think at some point, like an educational series or something on starting a business and on trademarking and whatever else, we come up with and learn along the way. But so we'll go through them one at a time here. So this is the thing that's coming up very soon. And
Yes.
I'm obscuring the URL just because we are working on it right now. So less than 2 weeks out. I mean, this is going to be live before. It's not a sesquicentennial, semi-bicentennial, I think is what we're having now. Is it a semi-bicentennial? Anyway, before America's 250th birthday on July 4th. And this is, of course, going to be the biggest birthday present to America of anything that America gets. This is the greatest birthday present America will ever receive, in my opinion. And I'm happy to be giving it to everyone. So This is going to be the wiki version that we've shown a few times on the web, the public version of the wiki, and the little tag-along game that goes with the wiki, the Hanged Man thing that we've shown off. And sort of the Apex site, which will kind of give you things like this roadmap with a little more detail about the other projects and, eventually, continue on. So these are the two things that are coming out literally within the next couple of weeks, guys. So, I mean, this is like, we're polishing things up and it's going to be live. And for the people, like Dorian said, we really appreciate the founders and the people who have donated. You'll have access. The founders, of course, have lifetime access, and we'll get that sorted out ahead of time. So like your email that you donated with will be the one that you need to sign up with. Or, if you need to do something different or you want to do something different, you can just email me at info@getgg.co, and we'll get it sorted out so that your account is properly whitelisted if there's any issues or whatever. But the point is that people who have donated will be able to log in and actually use the products and continue on to the next slide. And
anybody that's given already is going to have the first access to some of the features of this, and then there'll be obviously the front-facing free aspect of this that'll also have stuff on it. But you're going to get that, what we've been going over in other episodes, the whole wiki, the whole information with it. It has all the Epstein files, the stuff from Hunter Biden's laptop, Doge, all the various files that have been put into this thing to do research and make connections between various players, events, and organizations. So if you have any questions, use that info@getgg.co, and then
there are
biscuits.
There are almost 1,500 files that are going to be in the version 1, and of course we'll keep updating it. There are hundreds more that are actually in the wiki currently, but that I have, just haven't. It's a process to get these things reviewed and refined and put out there in a way that the liability and everything is managed. So. It's a refinement process, but we're going to keep adding to that. I mean, the work continues in terms of populating this stuff, and I think people will find it very interesting. I've certainly found building it to be very interesting. And one thing that I think people will come to appreciate, or I hope they will, sooner rather than later, is how the other products are leveraging this wiki that we've built in a way that is frankly hilarious and amazing to me. but also like hugely entertaining and kind of maybe functional in ways that I don't know if people. I mean, you'll have to think about it, but I'm pretty excited about how complicated and how nuanced and how elegant some of this stuff is fitting together. I mean, you have to appreciate this is, you know, I've probably been keeping those types of notes as I was planning these games and some of these other products, I guess you could say, over the past 6 years. I mean, now that I've gotten everything basically that I had handwritten transcribed into machine language and code, I mean, I had 1,300 and some full pages back and front of notes for 6 years. So, I mean, there's a lot of products. There's a lot of games that I'm developing, and I'm moving very, very fast. So
Pretty
the
much at
Wiki,
any time in your life, if you're wondering, I wonder what Biscuits is doing. He's making like 5 games at a time, updating the wiki, adding more research, refining the tiers of however you verify the information, make sure that it's legit, and so that we're not just throwing out bullshit. This is stuff that's been verified, released in actual documents that we can hold as far as accountability goes with the government, to whatever degree that is. Socially, it would be lovely if enough people got a hold of this information and actually gave a fuck. So that's the hope. But when you ask what Biscuits is doing, every freaking day, I swear he's got it's like another thing that he's working on while he's got other pipelines going at the same time, and it's amazing, dude. It's what you're doing is amazing. And some of this stuff, man, we've been waiting on it. We finally got that shit that we needed for this last little hurdle. So you're about ready to see it come manifest, the first aspect of the operation. So here we go.
So one of the things that's going to happen is, well, first of all, I have a new microphone that's on the way. So, you know what I mean? This is because we are going to have a company channel, essentially a social media channel for the company that is going to, and we're going to put stuff on there that is, like we were just talking earlier. I'll give you a perfect example of what's not going to be on there. Trailer sniffed music videos are not going to be a part of the GG universe, right?
Right.
This is so it's going to be not watered down, but it is going to be polished to a higher degree in terms of, you know, a corporate standard that is basically necessary in order to not allow the terms of service of a variety of these platforms that we're trying to leverage to be used against us. Because, I mean, we've already had, I would say, some pretty interesting asymmetrical opposition to a variety of different efforts that we've tried to undertake here. So, so it's not going to be content like that that's like purposefully sort of offensive. And Trailer Sniffed is a very purposefully offensive creature, and I don't condone her. And so as a business, you know, obviously we can't condone that type of content. But what we will be doing is, and I think, you know, like this will be a nod to Sabrina, and hopefully like we'll have some collaboration with Sabrina. But I love the way that she compiles research into these, you know, PDFs and that have, and that's one of the things we were trying to do with the wiki, sort of say, like, we've done the research, we've organized all this stuff, and rather than tell you, hey, here's what's happening, we'll just say, here's what it is, and here's the map for you to go and find it yourself with just a couple of clicks or whatever. So I love that, and I learn myself that way, you know, from doing things like that. And in contrast to the way that Sabrina does it, if you look at something like the way the Pandora Papers and so on were handled, I mean, here's a consortium of investigative journalists that have all of this explosive data. And the way they convey it to you is so challenging technically to navigate and so unwieldy and inefficient that the only thing you actually take away from these investigative journalists, information that they give you, is the job of going and becoming an investigative journalist yourself to figure out what the fuck is actually going on. And so I think that when data is presented like that, it's a red herring because of the mechanism by which it's presented, because it's inefficient, because it's trash. I mean, you can't go there. You can't really learn much from those things. So we're going to do shows which are heavily researched, heavily sourced, and will be set up sort of like with this slide deck that we're looking at here, but will be longer. They'll have videos and stuff included, but they're going to be dedicated to specific topics, some of which we've already got in the pipeline. And I think the first one that we're going to do is, recently we were working with Colee on helping her with her medical stuff. And I realized that like people don't really perceive these regulatory pathways and regulatory documentations and laws and paperwork and things the way that I do. I have built a skill set where I can understand like where are the levers in all of these in all these documentations where they interface, where we can make things happen, and the application of certain game theory strategies to that type of thought process and that type of perception with respect to documentation really gives you. Well, I'm trying to give you insight into how I solve problems, basically, and give you research sources that drive, these slide decks in sort of a new format. So we're going to do those. The PDFs will be free, as I said, the same way Sabrina does it, because I think it is the right way to do things.
Right.
The slide decks, I think, maybe will be something that we keep for members, and we'll just leave the PDFs free for everybody. And so the PDFs will go along with the show once, something like that, whatever. We'll get that ironed out. But
right. So what I'm recognizing is that some of you don't know about Trailer Sniffed, which was the first Biscuit Risker record production that we put out there for fun, of course. That kind of stuff will not be on GGCo. We will have to go another route. Hopefully you guys would understand. We talk a lot in this channel about being able to reach people like in our families, social circles and stuff like that. So we're going to make business decisions based on that, and to keep this thing afloat and to do it the appropriate way, even though we will continue to have fun over here on Painfully Beautiful Productions. And I love talking about some of this stuff, but we want to stick to more factual stuff. And then what you see here in the style, I've really loved this, as he's like what Biscuits call it. And what's up, Sabrina? It's so good to have you here. Looking forward to connecting with you on this a little bit more too when you have a little bit more time, but I don't know when you do, because I don't think you sleep and you never stop. Anyways, these slide decks, like this style, has been awesome. And then we'll be doing shows on GGCo, whatever, studios or whatever we end up calling it, where we will also, just like Sabrina does with her PDFs, offer those for free on the website as well. So you'll be able to go to the website, download the PDFs, and have the information. So we're going to follow up. Hopefully we'll see what happens with this whole Colee situation, which might give people insight on how you can push back on that system when the medical system F's you like it did to her. And then some of the shows that we have in the making that we'll be working on that'll have important information to get out to the people. We'll be able to get PDFs to that. And then, as we've shown multiple times with the Wiki files, we will show you various, probably shorter form videos of us doing some research on that. And then hopefully help you guys understand how valuable of a tool this will be in your own hands, or as a group, as get the Telegram group, create a little group. You want to investigate something a little bit harder using factual, publicly released information that isn't just a psyop, or like some people are saying, sick of the psyop rabbit holes and just going down shit that could go into woo-woo land, where it might just be some weirdos on the internet. Like, This is going to be publicly, documented shit that you're going to be able to draw conclusions with, and then go from there, and then do your own critical thinking and think logically, and then work through some problems in a way that I don't think anybody else is offering. When I see these fucking grifters that I've been calling out and putting out some of these music videos calling out again, because I don't ever want to stop doing that. I just got to be a little more careful now because some more things are at play here, if you will. So recognize the way that we're going to handle this is going to be in a manner that might be more easily received by an audience that isn't just this kind of an audience. This is the kind of audience that has springboarded this, and this is what we've talked about, dreamed about, discussed. How can we reach more people? This is a way we're going to be able to reach more people, and we'll give you guys, like Biscuits was saying, all kinds of information for free, as always. That'll go along with some of the information that's going to come from this. And I just, when I've watched these guys that have operated, and right now, I want to show you guys just real quick something that I just put together, because they are right now, once again, I've talked about this, but Flynn has his own tour that he's doing. Kim Clement's like the headline way that they're showing it. Kim Clement obviously passed, but they're using his whatever false prophecies and his name in order to boost this new reawakened tour, repackaged, if you will, with Clay Clark. But there's also the Scott McKay, Nino, and 107, the fraud summit that's going on right now. Well, I had a little bit of fun, and I just want to show real quick, and we'll get back to the slide deck. But if you didn't know, Tina Peters obviously has been released at this point. Also calling out Mike Gill here, because he was trying to say that Tina Peters took a deal and the Flynn Network's in trouble, and then I'm part of the Flynn Network and I'm going down, blah, blah, blah. Well, there was some pictures posted from this summit and whatnot. Well, I took the opportunity to make this little video, which is done with AI, but I said a glimpse into what should have happened if it all wasn't a sick grift part of the political circus. So Mike Gill's part of the political circus. Nino, this is 107 here with Tina Peters. This is what should have happened. If it was not just a big old grift, where now Tina Peters is probably scared for her life, realizing that they could get her in more hot water like they did, getting her put in prison. But now she's going to come out, and they're going to make sure that she makes more money than she's probably ever made. And they're going to use her to grift and prop her up again. And that was her actually doing what she should do, which is fucking let Juan and Nino and these asshats that have used her to make money and to hold her up as a victim, while they, in my opinion, might have helped put her right where she ended up. So fuck them. Now, back to the GG Co. Greatest Game Company slide deck. Go ahead, Biscuit. Sorry.
It's okay. And that, I guess the last thing on this, of course, is the new series Whale Fall, which I think is people have sort of already seen a little bit of, because the pilot season is, of course, the Allison saga, which now will continue and expand in ways I think will be entertaining and perhaps shocking to people. But I'm pretty excited about that too. So that's just going to be our fictional animated series of high drama, soap opera type energy, I guess.
Right. And at least like the hardcore of you that have really been following like what Biscuits and I have been doing, you've really enjoyed this. We'll hopefully make it for a wide audience. But like, the shorts that happen that I create to set up promos for the next episodes, especially here of the season of the Gong and what we've been doing there. This whale fall, I'm going to have you explain a little bit more about what whale fall means. So people can get the concept a little bit more, because I think it's genius and it's awesome. But we got like the collector's cards, obviously, in the future, but we've got these games that are being made. We're going to get into the talk about one that we've already featured, smaller games, but then more like actual fucking games that could go on to, what is that streaming game streaming platform? Steam. Right.
Yeah, we'll be on, definitely. We're going to try to get on Steam. It'll, available on Android, probably iPhone. Even the Apple Store is a little more complicated, but I think it should be reasonable. which will, eventually, well, not even eventually, but pretty soon, we will need some game testers if anybody is into that. So,
right. So when some of these come out, and especially some of you that have already given and that will have access to this right away just because of your donations. So anybody that donates, you're going to have immediate access to some of these extra things. You will be the first to kind of give us some analytics about how it goes, and then some feedback, obviously, on what you thought of it, so that we can continue to improve this. Colee has stepped up and said that she wants in on it. We'll see. Maybe on the painfully beautiful side, but I don't know if we'll bring her in anybody into the GG Co side of things. Just you hopefully you understand. But we're talking about like fucking so they call them vertical dramas, correct?
yes, I think that is the format. That's what the format is called. But
right. So some of these shorts that I've been creating, I didn't even know that it was a whole new genre online of these like vertical dramas. So like we can use that though, utilizing information which will be coming from the wiki files, the real information, and then it'll be put onto a dramatization and then draw people into the real information is the hope, or part of the whole mechanism here, as I understand it, correct?
well, I mean, obviously the hope is to destroy the corporation of the United States and reinstantiate the constitutional republic. But, this is just phase one of that mini phase plan.
And we're trying to come in from like multiple angles. Like I said,
That's
collectors, we've talked about the collector's cards, but we got games, we've got just the straight research abilities, people to become more investigators themselves. But right before we get to the next slide and get back to that, please talk about whale fall real quick and what that is.
You mean the actual concept of whale fall?
Yes.
Well, when a whale, I guess sometimes when a whale dies and they don't puff up for whatever reason, they just sink. And if they're in very deep water, they'll sink down to the ocean floor where it's basically like nothing. It's just a desert, and what's left of that ocean gate sub, there's nothing else. And the landscape is basically bare until this giant whale falls down there and settles, and then it becomes an entire ecosystem that sometimes can last for decades, where, because the water's so cold, the meat doesn't really like decay away. It all gets eaten, and it's so huge that all the sea life, whatever. It's an interesting concept. And the series is, well, I don't want to give away too much about,
Right.
about the plot, you know what I mean? But the point is, Allison manages to get us all mixed up in Operation Whale Fall, which is a CIA operation that's apparently been going on for a lot longer than we all thought, and has, anyway. I think that people will find it entertaining. I'm pretty
right, and we're hoping that it'll entertain this community, obviously, probably primarily, but that it'll also expand out in a way that it'll be attractive to other people. But when you look back behind Biscuits and you see those whales, and we've talked about harpooning these fucking whales, there are these corporations that own the large market share of a lot of these upcoming businesses when it comes to, like, I don't want to name any of the companies right now at this point, but the people that are in the sectors that we're headed towards to try to get them, and then they extract from them some of the greed that they've used to take from people. I love the idea of harpooning these whales, extracting from them and bringing it over to an ethical and morally driven company and purpose. Like Biscuit said, the ultimate purpose, he just laid it all out there. But it's going to be a little bit of a fight, and it's going to be a little bit of a road. But then this whale falls down, and then this carcass that was this behemoth of a corporation had now becomes an ecosystem for the life that is living at the bottom, if you will. I love that.
And yeah, and well, thank you. And it's like, I want to be clear, this is the series itself is an interesting thing, because it's like the wiki. We weren't really planning on sharing the wiki, but people liked it so much whenever I showed it off, because it really is a tool. Thank you, Charlie. It really is a tool that was serving another function for me in terms of game development, which I know people are going to be like, that's weird. But the reason that it was serving a function for me for game development purposes, because I want to make an entertainment company that's successful. I mean, you know, all of these industries that we're going to have a footprint in are multi-billion-dollar annual industries. But the point is not, I mean, whatever. If it could get that big, it's built to scale to that big simply because it's a non-zero probability, but it's probably close to zero, you know. But the point is not to get to $1 billion or something arbitrary like that. The point is to create a multifaceted entertainment company that never distracts, even though it's entertaining. And when I say never distracts, I mean never distracts from the underlying truth. From it might abstract, it abstracts heavily, but the abstraction is always based in the truth. I mean, that's why our motto is satire veritas, right? Satire is truth. And so the wiki gives a foundational layer of truth in text that is sourced to the standards from the very documentation provided by the government, which every company and citizen in the United States of America is obligated to protect themselves from. If you're a business in the United States of America that isn't doing your due diligence to protect yourself from being destroyed by the federal government, guess what will happen to you? You will be destroyed by the federal government. That's what will happen. That's how it works. You have to protect against that. And that's a fact that people get very distracted from when they're playing Minecraft or, you know, Terraria or Doom or, you know, any of these other video games. Like, or, I mean, even FIFA, you know, like the World Cup itself is a distraction, and the video games that are based on the World Cup are a distraction. But you'll never be able to play a game from the greatest game company without being told the truth about what's going on in this country and what's wrong with this country in a way that is actually entertaining, but it won't be distracting you from that fact ever, because every bit of fiction that I create, that we create as a product, is an abstraction from this graph, this data graph, this knowledge graph of truth that is the wiki, and that is the world at large. Right. And so, the Whale Fall series is fiction that we're going to make derived from that type of abstraction algorithm applied to certain aspects of the world which we think it's important, and abstracted in such a way that'll be comical and funny and over the top, but also, you know, keeping it real, as they say, in a sense.
Right. And so you got a lot of these games that are pushed out there. Some of them have so much money behind them. They're obviously, it's like almost like the whole industry runs on magic, because everybody knows they're trying to extract as much money from you as possible, right? Yes. They've got different models now. So with Fortnite, they'll give it away for free, but then you get so invested into it with amount of gameplay that you start buying skins, buying various player outfits, buying various players, unlocking various things, guns a little early, whatever it is, getting extra credits so that you can purchase drop boxes or whatever to give you more ammo, whatever it is. So the whole game is whether or not they can entertain you enough in order to extract more money. And then when people are just like, that's so good, just take my money. But imagine games and entertainment that's out there that'll actually teach you the truth and then give back to you in the sense of being like a fair playing field. So if you got all these people playing the system the way they've treated it the whole time, and trying to knowingly, everybody knows every business that comes out that puts out a big game is trying to extract the most money out of you. Well, imagine something that's not only just going to point to the truth and cause conversations, that it's going to make you think about the world at large and what's really going on here, whether it's vertical dramas, fictional dramas people watch, or actual games that you play. But when people that are in these other games see that and be like, holy shit, this actually means something. Like my records over here in this game don't actually mean something, but over here, you're actually learning about truth, or you're actually being involved in an economy or a system that is actually trying to do good in the world. Then you might feel even better about what the fuck you're doing when you're spending your time on it, and come over to that kind of a system. It'll be interesting to see if we can harpoon some of these whales, cause them to fall, and bring more people into this mindset that needs to happen as these fucking corporations get way too big for their britches and take over the fucking world.
Well, and also, I mean, getting big is one thing, but getting big while also putting out shitty, compromised, derivative trash, because that's how you got big, is by being paid by organizations and institutions that have agendas that don't include entertaining without distracting. And that's the point. If you try to entertain without distracting from things that are important, you can do so. You just have to try. That's the point. I'm going to prove that point, that there's better fiction in the reality of our problems than there is in distractions. I mean, this is why movies are derivative, because they've done everything but tell the fucking truth. There's nothing left, you know? But we have the greatest source of fiction and content available to all of us, and it has been produced at the greatest expense in the history of humankind. And it is absolutely the show, the movie, the bullshit that we're supposed to believe that comes on TV, the fucking fake government, all of these things, right? There's the source of entertainment. There's the source of fiction. You know, I mean, I'm telling you, it's so rich and so dense, and it's just, I think people don't, well, no one has yet, I think, done what we're trying to do. Right. It's interesting. I will say, you brought up about magic, and you know, I will give you a little bit of a whale fall spoiler, but not a spoiler, but a secret. I was building out some hacker characters in the whale fall universe today, and hackers are all wizards in the whale fall universe. They don't deal with code in the normal way. They just do magic, and everyone's mystified by it. So I mean, because we've seen on the channel, you know, that even MIT professors tell you that computer programming and whatever is close to magic, but there's really no magic to it in reality. And I think that'll be something that people learn along the way too. But I'm pretty stoked about Whalefall, because it's a fun way to like make some content that isn't necessarily so serious. And I mean, this will be hard for people to believe, but some people have accused me of being a very dry person, but I'm actually quite entertaining. And there's a lot of entertaining stuff in here that I think is going to surprise people as the stuff starts coming out. But you know, this is August, so not too far away.
Absolutely. All right, on to the next part.
Yeah, and then of course this is, and I don't want to say the name of it because it has a code name, because I haven't really landed on the real name of it yet. But this is sort of the flagship, I guess. Well, this is the lead up to the flagship. The collector's cards are kind of the physical representation of the wiki and the physical output of our sort of the algorithm, if you want to call it that we're going to use to extract, you know, satire from reality and capture it like this. I mean, people have seen some of the examples and things. And again, with that, we can manufacture those pretty much any time, but there's a huge, brutal economy of scale cost when it comes to printing trading cards, as it turns out. So when we do these, we need to make a bigger batch than we initially thought. So it's kind of gotten pushed back, but we think that by late this year, we'll be able to do the first batch of those, assuming all this other stuff goes pretty well, for the collectors, which will just basically be available only probably limited run this year. And then we'll scale into that depending on how well those do at into 2027.
Yeah, we've been able to accomplish a lot without a whole, I mean, God bless everybody that's given to this and that sees the vision of it and that has helped out. But we've put a lot into this with very little to go on, and yet we're still really excited. So just understand things are going to come in stages, and like to get to the collector's cards, which is something that we showcased early and was an idea. Like just know that when Biscuits has looked into some of these companies, it's expensive to print these damn things. So we got to take steps. And so you're seeing a little roadmap as we come into this of the website and the wiki and all that stuff. Hangman getting ready to be launched, and then August shows in store, and then hopefully by late this year we'll be working on the next level of getting to those collector's cards. But we'll see where we're at.
And then of course this is what I want. This is the sort of the crown jewel and the game that I designed for many years. Which, I mean, I've got the release date tentatively as 9/11/2027. I think it's probably got to land on 9/11, right? I mean, it is.
That's a date that we have to shoot hard for.
I will tell you what I can about this game as far as its stage of development and its sort of sister games, which there are many actually. I mean, there's 5 sister games, including the trading card, the actual tabletop trading card game. But the main game, which we're planning to have available through Steam and also as Windows or Mac native, as well as Android and Apple. So the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. And really, realistically, maybe even Nintendo Switch, but that one's a little more complicated. This game has about 300 hours of gameplay. I think it'll probably take around 100 hours to beat it. There are, I think, around 900 possible quests, depending on they're not even called quests, but you get the idea. And 10,000 over 10,000 game days. It's a 32-year game arc. And I don't want to go too crazy because it'll give away stuff about the engine that I don't want to give away at this point. Once I get it to the point where I think no one can reasonably catch up if they were to try to start becoming a member and reverse engineering, and maybe that's not even possible. I don't know. I'm just paranoid about it because we're a long way away. But the point is, it is a huge undertaking and a huge game, but I think it is. I'm super excited about it. It's definitely, I don't really like playing video games anymore for a variety of reasons for decades, but this is the type of video game that I would absolutely play. And this video game has so much truth and reality woven into it in a way that I think actually qualifies as elegant, which is, I think, a very high compliment to anything. And I'm not prone to paying such a compliment to myself or my own work very often, but I will say that this engine has turned out to be probably, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm impressed with it, and I think other people will be too. And I think it has the potential to be a real actual contender in sort of the whatever you want to call it, the real game market, not just a niche type of conspiracy theorist thing. It's not for conspiracy theorists. It's for normal people. It's not, it's not meant to push people away. It's meant to draw them in. And I'll tell you that it is the opposite of just about every game that exists in terms of its message, if kids were to play it. And it's totally safe for kids to play, I think. And the message that they get is one that will not lead them, but I mean, it will convey to them something that I think is the same message that Jesus would have conveyed to them, I think. And not in a way that misattributes it to anybody other than Jesus himself. So, but without being on the nose about it, that is the driver for it. But that's not what carries it. That's just the foundation is, the truth of the world that we live in, the ridiculous absurdity of the cover-up that is perpetrated onto the world that we actually live in, and the reality of how people, I think, should actually start to face it, in a video game. So it's an ambitious thing, but I can tell you that it is. I'm doing graphics now. I mean, the game is built. It's just a question of creating, I don't know, 40 to 80,000 different animations and images and sprites and textures and things like that. So it was an ambitious undertaking, but it worked out really well the way that I'd taken my notes and things. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And I think that people will be blown away by this. I hope so. I think that it's going to be it'll be probably the crown jewel of the GG product line, at least the things that I've developed anyway.
Yeah, so there's so many layers to this as we lay this out, this roadmap here for GGCo. But you're seeing right there, all things that we've discussed with the collector's cards games and other aspects that's going to go forward with that. But actual video games, I mean, you wouldn't have been able to do this not that long ago, and a lot of people were freaked out about where the technology is, rightfully so. But at the same time, if leveraged correctly, we can also combat the misinformation and the distractions that are out there. So that's what Biscuits is doing here. And I think that that's what I've been trying to do as I've created the things that I've done, try to spice things up, and also draw in an audience that is more set into, I don't know if I'd say mainstream entertainment, but yeah, like we need to wake people up that are sucked into information that leads them nowhere, that makes you dumber, that doesn't make you critically think about what's actually going on in the world. And if we can combat all the shit that's coming at us as this technology rolls in by leveraging some of this technology to do this as a two-man fucking team here, and Biscuits being a one-man fucking army at this point, here we go. This is what we're doing.
Well, I will say too, once these things are to the point that, well, first of all, I mean, I'm working a lot, and I'm getting a new microphone, and probably, in short order, we'll have a new camera, and I'll actually work at a desk because I'll have to. But one thing that I definitely want to do, because we'll have this channel and the company channel, is once we get to a point where we agree that it's the time, that it's not going to be a risk or something, I will start going back and doing, we'll do shows, maybe lives, but we'll definitely do some recorded shows where we go back and I'll actually show the process where, I go from how the games and how the products and stuff maybe were built, or some of the tools that we use to try to share with everybody, if they want to, what they can, that they can do it too. I mean, it's not that hard to do these types of things. It's tedious in some cases, and you have to bring a lot to it yourself. There's no tool out there that you can bring nothing to and have it give you something that's good. That doesn't exist. That would be magic. But I want people to be able to to feel like they've contributed something to an effort to put a stop to this stuff, because I feel like I want to feel like that. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of, and I'm still in the midst of some very long asymmetrical plans that who knows how they work out. But the whole point of this is to, one, try to get all of these products built and shipped before Trump leaves office, because who knows then, you know what I mean? And also before anything happens to either of us, so that it's done and it's out there. But additionally, I want to have an impact, and I want to teach people maybe that it's actually possible that you can make a living, that a person can make a living by having an impact, and that entertaining people isn't necessarily the same as distracting them from something important. I mean, it hasn't always been this way, like there are books all the way back to the Bible, which itself is a book that has a lot of crazy stories in it that are hugely entertaining and also compelling, and also, because of the metaphysical aspects of it, powerful. But you can have powerful and compelling entertainment that doesn't leave a person a worse person than they were when they started it, and doesn't leave a person further away from whatever objectively would be the right path for that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, the entertainment industry is corrupted, but that doesn't mean entertainment itself as a human endeavor is necessarily corrupted. And I mean, I want to prove that or test that at the very least. I mean, a lot of what we're doing isn't necessarily, obviously we hope to succeed, but I can't remember who it was that said it. It might have been Albert Einstein, which sort of takes the piss out of it, but, said that a well-documented failure is worth far more than a poorly documented success. So if we do get shut down, or if it does fail or whatever, one of the things that I want to have happened was for the test of it to have been, something that other people were able to witness along the way. Because, hey, if it does fail, at least it's going to be, I mean, we've already had some failures that we've documented, which are, like we documented publicly the failure of the Facebook account that, we tried to open up for me. That failure was instantaneous. It was almost too fast to document. It happened so fast. It was quick. It was quicker than the human eye.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting as we continue to navigate and try to set up some of these socials for GGCo, because like we were sharing that Biscuits tried to open a Facebook and he never even had an issue on there, hadn't been on it in years, and
decades. Yeah, decades. You know what I mean?
And then as soon as it goes to the page where it should be like, welcome to Facebook, it says your account, what was it? Your account has been
I just got banned. Yeah, I've just been banned.
He hadn't posted anything, he hadn't done anything except put in his information. That's how bad it is. And we got another situation going on with a company that we're trying to work with. And when you bring in Biscuits into he's on some kind of list, man. They're putting things in the way. That's going to be interesting. But yes, there needs to be some excitement out there, because I know a lot of people like that are into the hopium, which is fake hope, accused like maybe some people like Sabrina and I of like being doom pillars or black pillars or whatever. No, man, we're trying to tell you that the motherfuckers that have made millions in these movements aren't doing anything other than investing and becoming entrepreneurs and learning how to extract more money from you, as opposed to giving you something to be excited about, so a community opportunity to be involved, which we've already done. So whatever happens from here on out, know that we tried. But we expect to go much farther than this as we continue to give you this roadmap here. But hopefully you're being inspired that we can do a lot to continue to fight back during this time. And so no matter what happens, I hope that you guys are getting excited about this, and we'll continue forward with whatever projects, art, whatever things that you're good at to continue on this quest of fighting back against a system that is very much trying to close the walls in us more and more every day, it seems. Next slide.
Well, this one is sort of up in the air, I mean, I have a weird relationship with cryptocurrency. I mean, the blockchain as a software tool is, if you accept the premise that 256-bit encryption is secure, or I suppose 256-bit duplex in the case of Bitcoin, but regardless, I mean, if you accept the premise that cryptocurrency is in fact cryptographically secure, I don't like the way that the market is at all. I mean, I consider it to be basically entirely compromised, just like the stock market, unfortunately, as a financial instrument. However, it actually does serve from gaming perspective, it can serve, if it's integrated properly, a really elegant game design. And I have another game which is designed to utilize blockchain in order to support the massively multiplayer aspects of it in a way that are, again, if you accept the premise that 256-bit encryption is secure, I say if you accept that premise, then this would be a mechanism, this is a mechanism upon which you can run it, and infinitely scalable, massively multiplayer environment. And I don't think that there is no existing cryptocurrency that's used any of these mechanisms. And I mean, I already have the code written, but I don't, and I could have built this already. I mean, I could have built it for many years now. But I've not been able to come to terms with certain things that I've seen occur with my own eyes and my own experience with respect to cryptocurrency and the cryptographic security of it, to the point that I don't know. I'm just not, I don't know about it. So it just gets pushed back and back. And when we get into 2027, if it looks like, I don't know, I see crypto.com getting advertised at the Super UFC White House lawn fight, and I'm just like, do I even want to do this? Because if I build it, then of course people will have to get cryptocurrency to interact with it. So I'm up in the air on that one, and I don't know. We have to talk about it, but it's a thing, and I mean, it would be cool. I would like to play it, but it's one of those things where you've got to. I don't want to promise that we're going to do it, because if it gets to 2027 or whatever, and I still can't assure myself about crypto, then I don't know if I would do it.
Right. And so that was a long-term project that we're looking at, and we'll see how it unfolds. We're not liking some of the things that we're seeing, and a lot of people here in this community know exactly what's going on with that. And not exactly, but I mean, you see the warning signs, I guess you will say, and the way that they fuck with that shit. And the connection to the digital ID and all that kind of stuff needs to be taken into consideration, however they do it. But with the way that they're rolling it out, we'll see what happens. But we're trying to open up as many vectors as possible, like Plain Spoken Jane is talking about here. A lot of people here might not play video games, but guess who does? Your kids, your grandkids, the people that are hooked onto the internet all the time, and they could be playing something that could actually make them critically think, or like see something into the world and have conversations like, damn, this is like what's really going on in the world. Like, yeah, man, did you see this? Blah, 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 blah. And then they start actually waking up younger, or applying their young minds to something that'll actually make them think about something that's more pure, as opposed to just complete distraction. And I always loved, I was talking to Biscuits, I think it was just yesterday or the day before. We've had a lot of meetings and talking about some of this stuff, but I always loved, like, in the arcades where you actually had like a leadership board. And so some of these games will have leaderboards, and we'll have fun with it. We'll make it so that everybody, because I don't want people that are coming in fresh or whatever to always be beaten out. We'll have new, fresh leaderboards with an all-time leaderboards and all that kind of stuff. But I always loved that. So that'll be an aspect of the game that'll be fun. But most people that are playing video games now are just playing for the experience. Some people are making money by going on Twitch and stuff like that. But the majority of gamers, I have spent hundreds of hours playing video games. I was a gamer. I've played from Atari all the way through, and I've almost played every console that exists. And I have nothing to show for it other than the experience, and I can talk about it. If I get with another gamer that knows about a certain game, we can discuss, oh, that was so cool, blah, blah. But in the real world, it has no application of anything like that. Hopefully in this, you at least get some kind of like critical thinking, or you open up, say your grandchild or your son or your daughter plays a little bit of this game and starts asking you some questions, and you ask them questions about the game, and it leads to a conversation about what's really going on in the world. Praise God that would be an opportunity, because if you try to ask about what happened in Grand Theft Auto, they're gonna be like, oh, I just shot up some people, got chased by the cops, and banged some hookers and that kind of stuff. No, like, this is like maybe a more realistic game to be able to offer the younger generations.
Yeah, there'll be no. I mean, you can kill people. You can kill a few people, I guess. In I don't want to say the name,
Don't give away everything, but it's
but
not the same as like
right.
what
But you can't kill them yourself. Like any self-respecting American, you got to get the government to do it for you. That's all I'll say.
there's a lot of creativity to it. So we've given you a glimpse of the roadmap, and then everybody that's been along for this journey that's already given, God bless you and thank you. And for anybody that's going to give or that's going to continue to give, know that it is. I'm telling you, man. I mean, in some ways, Biscuits is working 24/7 because even when he's sleeping, something's going on. I feel I'm not going to get into all that. That's your side of things. But there are thoughts that are always happening. There are epiphanies that are happening literally like while we're laying in bed and thinking about things. And there's things that we're coming up with on the fly. But then some of this is like literally coming from 5 to 6 years of journaling this stuff out and planning something like this that you didn't know was ever going to actually be a possibility until we started doing shows together, making this happen. And then this community has stepped up and really supported us. And we love you all for that. And hopefully this continues to grow and become an extension of when we ask these questions about how we reach more people and how do we talk to the ones that just don't get it, or the family members that won't listen to any of this. They might be entertained by something that causes conversation that is connected, or they might play a video game that causes a conversation, or they might like some collector's cards that make them laugh and think about some things in a little bit different manner. So I hope you guys appreciated that little glimpse into GGCO and get excited about some of the things that just went through for us so that we can move on to this next stage.
Well, thank you. Yes, I want to say I do appreciate everyone who's supported. I don't think I'm supposed to be allowed to be doing all this. So like, which is why I always kept everything handwritten for so many years, because I thought if I ever do this, I want to do it so fast that people will be like, holy, it's already done. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the machinery that moves against, I'll just say people like us, and I mean everybody, it actually moves kind of slow at a certain level, I mean, and you can exploit that just like you can exploit game theory and this sort of incompetence that is inherent in the people that are writing these documents. I mean,
right.
I think the further we go in the GGCO series and stuff, people start to see what I mean. It's hard to convey enough without conveying too much,
Right. And
this is why the CIA has briefings on what they're allowed to say precisely,
Right. And then lastly, and then we'll get back into the season of the Gong or whatnot. But it's hard to convey exactly what all's about ready to happen. But when I talk about, like, when you look at like some of these social media heads that are getting, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, regular views, they have thousands of people watching. I mean, maybe the inflation of numbers, whatever, we've talked about that and whatnot. It's kind of nice to have this small knit community that started with this, and that it's not such a big thing because we're not high up on the radar right now. I pray we're flying under the radar to a degree, and that this is going to happen, even though some of it's taken longer than maybe we had hoped, but not really. It's just business, and it's the way of the world. It's actually happening faster than we probably should have had expectations for. And if it continues to fly under the radar, we will pop this up, and it'll be a punch that they never saw coming. How about that?
I don't think we're going to be able to make the whole wheel tonight. We spent so long on our commercial.
I think, well, I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, this is something to be excited about because we like we were saying, man, we literally in the last few days had things finally fall through for us, and then we can make certain connections with some of the pieces that we really need to be in place so that we can manifest this into reality. Because we've been talking about it so much, now it's going to actually be a tangible thing where you're going to go to a website, you're going to be able to interact with the stuff, you're going to be able to see that the work is coming into play. And that's what I'm super excited about. So for this episode, I hope you guys really enjoyed that. And so now, just for one more We ain't gonna get to all of them. We just somehow landed on GG Co for the very first one, but we're gonna get to some more of these. And
Well, I'm glad we did because this is. I mean, it is actually a very exciting milestone. So it's good to nail it in the first try.
Dude, I mean, I'm not gonna say what I told Biscuits, but I was just saying when this next one comes through, I'm gonna get super freaking excited and we're gonna enjoy it. And so we've been meeting more and whatnot. That happened, and here we fucking go.
Yeah, I will say I don't think that we can ever get an HR department.
And that's a good thing for us.
Maltese firecrackers.
It's funner that way.
Right.
But we are just a couple dudes, so.
That's true. Did you hear about this? I guess probably this got, maybe this got overshadowed in the news or something.
So this is in Malta. So a massive explosion consumes firework factory in Malta.
Yeah.
13 days ago. Okay, let me pull this up. I did not hear about this. Damn. All right. Ready to play it?
Sure, yeah. You can turn it down a little if you want to talk. I was surprised because you see these explosions or whatever, and I thought that seems like a pretty huge explosion for fireworks. And Malta is one of those places where there's like a bunch of underground temples and whatnot. You know what I mean? Serpent type temples and things. So I was like, oh, an explosion in Malta. I'll go look this up. But they said it was just a bunch of firecrackers that went off. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's a bunch of firecrackers?
So it's just smoking at this point, but here.
Yeah, there's
is this later on after it's already smoking? It blows up again?
No, I don't think so. I think they just cut the video back. Just play that part. Yeah. No, not that. Play the middle part. Yeah.
Right here.
I guess you can see all those sparkler things, but then that seems like a real detonation to me. But I don't know. Fireworks, huh? Maybe it was a big chicken coop.
Look at that!
It looks like an actual, like they just added fireworks to a demolition.
Like they sprinkled some fireworks on it before they.
Right, they added fireworks into it so that they could run the story that it was just a bunch of fireworks. But there's no fucking. I mean, I know that they pack a lot of punch, but the way that exploded like that, nah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's got some bright colors in there. Maybe there's some fireworks. Anyway,
interesting.
I love. Explosions are mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Don't get any. I'm not. Come on, guys. I'm not going to explode anything. I blew up a lot of stuff when I was a kid, but I mean, not like. You know what I mean? Blowing up stumps and anthills and things. Everybody manufactured explosives when they were a kid, right?
Yeah, who didn't enjoy it, especially when you're a kid? And then when, man, we had some bottle rocket wars and we had some stupid shit that we did, but there's something about it. And then seeing that though, I mean, maybe, but they could have also just added fireworks to it.
Well, I mean, a fireworks factory would reasonably have a lot of raw materials,
That's what we're not. We're not trying to paint Biscuits as a pyromaniac.
Yeah, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. I mean, my dad was in a burn center for 9 months. I don't have any illusion. I would not wish that really on anybody. So, but I did when I was a kid. I mean, I liked fireworks. I like explosions. I mean, they're cool. I can't help it.
By accident.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I blew up a lot of stuff by accident for sure when I was a kid.
All right, and then what's going on with Firestar Lord in YouTube? Are you just putting random shit like this? Does nothing have nothing to do with what we're talking about? I don't know. I can't tell.
Let me read that.
Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I just can't tell what's going on. Just play, and by triggering that thought, one creates a stronger conscious, more moral boundaries for others in fear. They find safety in imperfection and more biological in randomness. And it's just been one after another a paragraph.
See, I would say this is the type of triage that I will do on a situation like this, but I'm pretty hardcore. I would look at this guy and I would look at the name, and then I would read the post and I would say, this is a bot, a fed, or a retarded individual, and I would ban the person.
And that's what I just did. They're gone.
Yeah.
That was fucking stupid. Anyways, you get some of that. So, yes, legal fireworks, of course. Even though I grew up in Washington State, where there's lots of Indian reservations where you can go and get the good shit. That's what everybody would do. We had fireworks year round because we would just go and stock up on that shit. And then when it was time to have some fun, bust out some of the illegals.
Yeah.
Or just a shit ton of bottle rockets and then light them, hold them, and then at the last moment, throw them towards your fucking friend who at that point was your enemy, and you hope that you hit them. And then when you hit them and it was too bad, it was like, oh, fuck, we shouldn't be doing this. But you kept on doing it. Well, thankfully, no one ended up in the ER. No one lost an eye, and no one burned themselves permanently. So, but damn, there was some moments where it was like, oh, shit, why are we doing this? But we kept on doing it. Oh, that fucking, that human spirit runs both ways. All right, where are we at? What do we get? Playing with fire.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a devastating thing to do, is throw an M80 down a toilet. I mean, I never did it as a kid, and I would never do it now. And I find it to be totally disrespectful because of the amount of plumbing that I've had to do, which isn't, I mean, I've never been a plumber, but I've done plumbing in terms of piping and stuff for industrial utilities and things, not household plumbing. But that's a fucked up thing to do to a bathroom at school. You know what I mean? To drop an M80 in it.
Well, you know who started that? I mean, it probably was happening before this, but who really popularized it? The Simpsons. Because Bart did that shit. I think it was even part of their Simpson game was throwing that shit down. I don't know, I was throwing it down toilets, but it was a big thing.
Yeah.
So you can just blame it on South Park, on the Simpsons. We blame a lot of stuff on South Park too. Let's check this out. Transcend. The transhumanist mug. All right, we got a mug root beer here. Let's see what's going on here a little bit.
This is an official advertisement for mug root beer.
Dude, this thing got a shit ton of fucking views. All right.
I mean, they've got this crazy ad campaign going on YouTube with videos like this, but I was just like, wow, they've used the word transhumanist in this advertisement, which I thought was kind of crazy.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
Become something else, something better, and transcend this mortal plane. You say you like drinking root beer. Well, how much you like drinking? It's time to leave.
What is going on?
That shit got that many. This is getting that much fucking views. Where this guy's just fucking duct taping the mug root beer 2-liter to his left hand, and he's got it. I mean, someone had to have helped him, right? And then he's just walking through talking about transcend. Tell me how much you really like root beer.
Yeah, I mean, somebody had to help him out. You can't do Edward 40 hands to yourself. Like, that doesn't work.
Dude, what the fuck is going on in this world? See, that's the kind of retarded shit that happens in this world. Edward 40 hands.
Edward 40 hands, yeah.
What's Edward 40 hands, Biscuits?
It's when you duct tape a 40-ounce alcoholic beverage to each one of your hands, and you're stuck like that until you drink them all.
I never played that game. That's a good
I never played that game either. It seems like it's one of those drinking games that gets like it's like a frat thing, I think, that people do to each other whenever they're trying to get into the Freemasons or whatever.
Right, when you're in the fraternities. And I thought, man, they tried to get me into a fraternity my freshman year, and I just used them to go to parties because they threw on some ragers, or they knew where the rages were happening. But I was never gonna join that fraternity. But I would have a spitter in the left hand because I come from a small country town that Tues for a lot of years off and on, and I was spitting in one bottle and drinking out of another, and they were all like, "Whoa, man, that's badass!" And I'm like, "This is normal where I come from. Where I come from, most of the guys just freaking swallow it." I'm like, and they gut that shit, and I'm like, I ain't gutting it. I'm spitting. It destroys me a little bit inside though when I see a video that gets that many fucking views when it's that retarded. And I try so hard sometimes to make something that's entertaining. Whatever.
Schlitz malt liquor. That's a classic, you know. Schlitz malt liquor.
Accounting for corruption.
Accounting for corruption.
I think this might be an AI guy in the video. I'm not really sure. We're getting close to that reality inflation thing. Inflection.
Yeah, where you can't tell anymore. Like they're starting to blend it so much.
Yeah.
That you can't like even that little video that I was able to make in one shot of Tina Peters at least hitting Juan on the shoulder hard and then kicking Nino. Now you have way better engines than anything that I have available to me, and these people are making stuff now. I've noticed every fucking commercial, it seems like anymore, is just made with AI now.
Yeah. So
that's just the new reality, is that every commercial.
I mean, that's the thing. Realistically, they could have replaced every celebrity a long time ago.
Right.
And everything else.
And that's what I'm saying when it comes to like all of these psyops that have been run on us, and whether they are positive psychological operations to try to put some truth out there, or all negative. But like we saw pictures of aliens with Trump, we saw pictures of alien with Ronald Reagan or Eisenhower. I think both of them. You've seen pictures of aliens that are supposedly doing all this shit. Dude, they fucking just probably created that shit. I'm not saying I fucking know. I'm just saying you better take that into possibility now as it's rolled out to where now someone like me can make that kind of shit. And it fucking looks realistic.
I think those pictures that you're talking about were actually found on the moon inside an alien photo album that was recovered.
Okay.
By Buzz Aldrin himself.
Who definitely went to the moon.
Certainly. He now says that he didn't because he's trying to cause problems, you know, squeaky wheel type situation. He's getting old.
Yeah. Or you think that they're probably just trying to confuse the public even more? Who freaking knows? When they just take him out, when they just zap his brain, I don't know, dude.
I think they've got it to the point. I think it's been at the point for a long time that like one person telling the truth doesn't matter, even if they're a person that would know it.
Right. That guy saying that on the White House lawn that Michelle Obama is a man isn't going to really matter in the scheme of things.
Yeah. Maybe he should have said Michelle Obama is a man, and instead of "and you know it, what do you think, America?" he should have said Michelle Obama is a man and Joan Rivers died for telling you the first time. That would have been better.
Adding that on there would have made them search out that if they didn't already know about it. And there you go.
Yeah. And then
3 weeks later, she dies in just a routine like facelift or some shit, Botox.
Yeah, I think facelifts were just routine for her. There's still a surgery that requires like serious anesthesia and shit. You know, it's not a walk in the park. Just because it's her 9th one doesn't mean that they're easy.
Dude, and this is Buck Bandits. They got, oh my gosh, this thing's got like so many views too. All right, it's impossible to tax a trillionaire.
Elon Musk is interesting. He chose to get paid not in salary. It's because you are taxed not on your income. That's not what the tax code says. you are taxed based on your taxable income. And so what Elon Musk did is when he was building Tesla, he negotiated with the investors and the board that I want to get paid not with a salary, I want to get paid with stock options. And he was awarded these Tesla stock options at about $6 a share. He was given millions and millions and millions of these stock options. Now when the Tesla stock goes up to $100 a share, now he is rich on paper. He doesn't have any money in his bank. But if he sold that stock, he would have $94 of income. Now you have a tax because you have taxable income. So instead what he does is he goes to the bank and he says, hey bank, I have these millions and millions of stock options that are worth billions of dollars. Would you like to loan me $1 million, $10 million? Oh, bank is going to say no. Now he has $10 million in his bank account, but it's not an income. It's debt. Debt is not taxed. So now he gets this $10 million of loans that he can spend to buy a house, to buy a car, to buy food, to buy vacation, to buy whatever you want. To buy Twitter, and pay no money in taxes. And it's 100% legal.
Damn.
So,
Go ahead. But real quick, if anybody's watching right now and this just got cut because YouTube forced me to take it out of this video in order for this video to stay up, you see the video and you can go to it and you can watch it yourself about how Elon Musk avoids paying taxes. It's impossible to tax a trillionaire. There you go.
What happened? So what just happened?
We're online right now and it's all good. What usually happens is after these shows,
I see.
Yeah, it'll upload and the algorithm will catch up. It'll hear that song that was playing in the background. It'll go copyright strike. The video has been removed unless you remove that part. So if you didn't get to watch that actual video, it's allowed to play you can play like a song like that up to 60 seconds, I believe. But some of these accounts like have different.
But that was a YouTube account.
Right. I don't know how long that video was, but you can play a song or you can play copyrighted material under the shorts policy up to 60 seconds.
Oh, but because we're playing a short, and I see
inside of this video, longer form, they will strike it once the.
Well, I'm sorry, I would have avoided including that video if I'd have known that.
No, because we'll still get both ends of on the other sides of it, and people can go check that out and still get value out of this conversation. And then on Rumble and Substack, y'all, it's good.
Alrighty. Well, I was just going to say, like, it's weird to hear, you hear that and you're like, wow, that's bullshit. But you can also see, okay, I understand the mechanism and so on. And then that guy finishes up, he says, and it's all totally legal. And I just think, well, no, it isn't, because the IRS is an unconstitutional organization. So all of the loophole machinations that all these billionaires and stuff go through in order to legally avoid taxes are fruit of a poison tree. I mean, to use a legal term that should apply to a lot more things than it gets applied to. I mean, most of the contextually rotten precedent that has been produced by the entirety of the federal court system for like the past, I don't know, 40 years maximally, but even since like 1913 and just before that, it's all rulings based on precedent, which is worse than rulings that are based on principle when they deviate from the principle in the first place. So this guy is doing the same thing. And I say this about media and about a lot of things that I say, like the news media, to me, it is analogous to a bunch of maggots on the corpse of reality and the United States, as it were. They're eating rotten meat, and the picture looks like it's moving, but if you look closely, they're all just wriggling maggots. It's not the creature is not alive. It's a dead beast. And I feel like these people that talk about taxes and stuff like this, it's sort of the same thing. I mean, these are all machinations that are that only exist and are predicated upon these foundationally corrupt and unconstitutional systems that are like just one little shift in, I mean, being basically obliterated and just washed away. A constitutional government would just obliterate these systems, and all of this nonsense with the stock market and all this nonsense would just have to, I mean, it would just have to get real, which for the most part means go away.
Right. It all has to come down. The whole system's built on corruption.
Right. So, I mean, who cares whether what Elon Musk is doing is illegal or illegal? I mean, it's such a fucking nonsense. I mean, legal and illegal doesn't even mean anything anymore. Like they arrested a former president for some sort of derivative mortgage paperwork issue, mugshotted him, put him in jail, but they can't arrest former presidents for treason. You know what I mean? For fraud. Like, come on. But as I've said, the only thing in the United States of America that is illegal is being too broke to keep yourself out of prison for whatever crimes you want to commit. That's it.
Yeah, the ways that these guys can do it and the ways that they do it, I mean, it makes me sick. And from all I can tell, it just seems like Trump is just playing to the rich and has done very little for the middle class. That's just my take on things. But I honestly have not hardly paid much attention to any of that political shit. I just get pulled into a little bit with the grifters and see what they're selling. And then obviously I see things here and there. And then I'm watching the UFC and I'm getting little updates on some of the stuff that's been going on. But Trump's apparently talked about how he's going to read the Iran deal word for word. And it's like, no one gives a fuck. No one listens. No one cares. Well, people care because they're all sucked into the politics like it's a fucking entertainment WWE fucking game that they're actually believes real, or like they just want to participate in it because they got to get fired up about something. He's going to read the Iran deal. Who gives a fuck about a deal? Every deal that they've done, the very next day, within 24 hours or something like that, a bomb gets fucking ceasefire. We have a ceasefire. Stock market does something, and then boom, Iran sends a bomb. Israel sends a fucking bomb. Whatever it is, no one cares about paper anymore because no one trusts anybody anymore. It's fucking retarded. But it's probably all also just a joke.
The documentation doesn't carry any weight when you're just talking about documentation. That's the problem. People talk about bills. I mean, recently in Florida, there's been all this talk about this property tax bill, but when you actually read the letters and the words in the document and then extrapolate what that means for property taxes, you figure out that Ron DeSantis's statement that we're going to pass a bill to get rid of property tax is actually the exact opposite of what is true. They're going to reshuffle the way property taxes are assessed and generally make it worse for people that have lived in Florida for a long time in the same house, and make it better for people that are moving to Florida from places outside of Florida. And the difference is what they say versus what the documents actually do in practice. And that'll be part of what our first episode on the GG Code show is about. Is there are systems in which every node in the system is bound by the structure of the documentation. These are regulated systems. Now, enforcement, whatever, that's not even the purview of a normal person. So you can complain about it, but you have to interface with the game, and it is a game. And you have to learn to understand it that way, even though your life and your kids' life and your family and every life that you love and care about and everything that you've worked for depends on it. That doesn't make it not a game, because you were born into it. We all were. And things were fake when I was born. Things were fake before I was born. The moon landing was faked before I was born. You know what I mean? World War I and World War II happened for fake reasons to create Israel before I was born.
Right.
Before most of us were born. We were born into this shit, into this show. It is a fucking game. But there are rules to this game, like there are rules to every game. And it's a game for you, and it's a game for the people on the other end at the insurance company, at the hospital, at the federal government, at the courthouse. Every one of those people is constrained by the rules that apply to their role in the game. These are jobbers. When you talk with them, they're not, even if it's your best friend and neighbor that works down at the bank, when you talk to them inside that bank, if you treat them like they're your best friend and your neighbor, you're putting yourself at a serious disadvantage, because they're not allowed to treat you like that. They're not allowed to treat you like you're their best friend and their neighbor. They have to treat you like you're just another fucking client, customer, whatever. Procedures and protocols dictate their actions. If you trigger those procedures and protocols in a certain way, their hands are tied. That goes for the cops that haul Dean off to jail because the feds told them to, right? When you trigger these systems, they are sprung like traps. And if you want to play the game, you can play the game, try to avoid the traps, and collect all the money you can. I've done it. I can tell you that when you get up to a certain level, it's a pyramid. And when you get up to a certain level, every fucking brick at that level is basically the worst person that you'll ever meet in your fucking life. And you really don't want to be there. But, that's your choice. Or, as Voice for Good was saying, I invest in the undoing. You can play the game in order to spring the trap on the people that should be getting trapped. I think you can. That's the whole point, as far as I'm concerned, is that the federal government, whether it's demonic or just deranged or deviated or whatever you want to call it, it's a fucking snake, but it must go on, or the United States ceases to exist. And I think the constitutional republic of the United States and the federal government of said republic must go on. But I think it is a snake. And I think the only ethical thing for Americans to do is invest in feeding that fucking snake its own tail again, for once, because that's what it should be eating. The federal government is designed to destroy citizens of the United States of America, but it should only be destroying the citizens of the United States of America that are doing unconstitutional things. It can be refined to do that. It was meant to do that. That's what the documentation conveys. The founding documents of this country convey that is what it's meant to do. And it can be done. But we as a people have to start figuring out how to make sure that the right people are in the traps and that there's nothing that stops them from springing, because they can arrest a former president and mugshot him and take him to the prison. They can do it. A DA and a judge can make it happen. So the process exists. The process is validated. Yeah, I agree. Literally, I'm certain they do. I mean, I think that's rampant, straight up monkeypox. But I think it can be done. At the very least, the pressure can be applied so that the only way to relieve the pressure is for the federal government to just comply with the fucking Constitution for once. And they only have to do it once. All they need to do is get one elected official who's guilty of treason, charge them, try them, convict them rightly, justly, and let the people see it. And everybody will say, it seems like that process will make things better if it continues and increases in frequency. Because that's the solution. Just like when your company is hurting, the solution is to get rid of the people that are hurting it from within. When your government is corrupt, the solution is to get rid of the traitors.
That's why we are going to play the greatest game that we possibly can. One more. This will be the final spin of the wheel, and we'll call it good for this episode 10 of the season of the Gong. Let's see what we get for the final one. We will not be burning the biscuit this time. We will leave it half burnt.
Oh, we got to watch 2 more now because.
What?
Hold on, hang on. Don't watch that one yet. Let me send. There's a pair on there that really need to be watched, but we should watch them in order. We should just do these last. We should just do these last 2.
All right,
That's
we're
the
gonna see a little
second.
bit.
Field work is the second one. We need to watch the field first, I think.
Okay, so let me have that one ready to go. Give me the other one.
I'm giving you this one in the chat. I'm trying to
Private
do
chat.
so.
The private chat
Yes.
where we send
In the
private
top
messages
secret
throughout the
classic.
show.
The top secret classified chat.
Don't you wish you could know the messages I'm sending, Biscuits, that you don't get to see? Shut up. Hold on. All right. If you ever wondered what a magnet does. All right, here we go. So this is the order, right? Magnetism, science, and Tesla.
Yes, yes.
Let's do it.
If you ever wondered what a magnetic field looks like, I'm about to show you. Watch closely. It'll take a moment to show up.
There it is.
There it is. That's in real time. It is a holographic view. See how it goes deep into the lens? The medium that is showing us that magnetic field is about maybe a micron thin. If you ever
Wow.
So that's a ferrocell that guy made by taking two glass planes and mixing mineral oil with ferrofluid into some drops in between them, squishing them flat, and then putting a light around the side. So now watch the other video, because when you visualize, a magnetic field is not the same as an electric field, but the two things are interleaved heavily. I mean, you create one with the other and vice versa. So when you see the physical representation of a magnetic field made visual, then now this is the type of stuff that Sabrina talks about. So let's watch this one.
Yeah, if people want to snag that. But let's check this out. This 3D printed robot is invisible to the naked eye.
Scientists just built this robot that's smaller than the width of a human hair and moves like a worm, and it has no motor, no computer, and no battery at all. Researchers at Leiden University 3D printed a flexible chain of microscopic segments linked by joints so small that they're invisible to the naked eye. So when they hit it with an electric field, something really unexpected happened. The structure basically started swimming on its own, moving through liquid like a tiny snake. And even stranger, when they tried to block its path, the robot twisted and redirected itself around the obstacle, as if it could sense what was in its way. The entire robot is just 5 micrometers long. For reference, a human hair is about 70 micrometers thick. So despite having zero electronics, this micro robot can navigate tight spaces, avoid collisions, and switch between multiple modes of movement all on its own. The researchers believe that structures like this could eventually navigate inside the human body to deliver drugs directly to tumors or infections without the complexity of any traditional robotics. And as weird as it sounds, sometimes the simplest designs produce the most lifelike behavior. If you want to stay in the loop with the latest.
Wow.
So that the reason I wanted those two together, is because when you start to see how you can manipulate magnetic fields in order to you can visualize those shapes that you make, but those shapes are just, the visualization is a 2D slice of the 3-dimensional field. And there's tunnels, there's points of flux, you can basically manipulate those fields in such a way that you can drive some little mechanism like that around inside a fluid, like your body. And these things are like, Sabrina's always saying, this is not like the future. You know what I mean? This is some old shit that's getting exposed now, because exposure doesn't really matter anymore.
Right, exactly. Eventually my ass, all been done, all been going on. Fucking more Jones and all kinds of different shit, but that's just another exposure of something that's been going on probably for decades. People feels like something's crawling underneath my skin. Oh, you just need to take Zoloft or Prozac or whatever, you know?
Yeah, or amphetamines, right?
Yeah. Get you juiced up. Let's get you taken care of, all right? It'll be all right.
Have some of this hummingbird gravy.
Have some of this hummingbird gravy, baby. Woo! Whoa! Nailed it. Come full circle on season of the Gong, episode 10. That was excellent. Thank you for those shares, Biscuits. Do you have any final words for the people?
I mean, no, thank you. Glad to be here with everybody. Appreciate all the support, and you know, I'm excited about the near future here for sure.
Yeah. So we showed you the roadmap. If you caught this late, go back and watch. You get to see a little roadmap map of where this is headed. Some really big things just fell through for GG Co. in the sense of goodness and moving us forward. So you're about ready to see more action here. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate you all. God bless. We look forward to catching you on the next one. So enjoy the credits and let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Peace.